You're listening to the Tech Alliance podcast. My name is Marina.
And I'm Andrei.
And it's the first episode of the second season. What a great day!
I mean, we survived. I guess congratulations to us. And of course, a huge thanks to our listeners for staying with us. Last season proved that book reviews are as popular as interviews, so we prepared a couple of new books to discuss. It's great news that there are a lot of new books on partner management. Remember when we talked about it in season 1, we described a bit of a lack that we experienced in our first years. So while previously it was hard to find anything on the topic, now the situation has changed quite a bit. And now I think maybe to some degree we are starting to have the opposite problem, where it's hard to select the right book to talk about.
That's right. I must say that ecosystems are buzzed today, and ecosystem means a lot of partnerships. And someone has to orchestrate all the connections. And the field is rapidly growing.
Well, it's good to be on the cutting edge, right?
The book we are reviewing today explains how the economic models have changed recently.
It's called The Partnership Economy by David A. Yovanno. And what do you know about the author, Marina?
As a matter of fact, he is a chief executive officer and board director at impact.com. It's a marketplace for partnerships, contracting, tracking, payment processing, and so on and so forth. Dave is a seasoned tech executive, and he shared his vision on the modern economy in his book.
Since I haven't read the book yet, Marina will do all the hard work today, and I will just ask questions, I guess.
Actually, the book is not too big and quite easy to read. I think it's one of my favorites after Partnernomics and Alliance Handbook, which we reviewed in the first season.
Pretty bold statement. What is the book actually about?
The aim of the book is to explain the what's and whys of today's partnerships to companies' leaders and help them navigate and decide what opportunities are ahead. If you want to understand better the current situation on the market, the book is for you. Well, the book consists of 4 major parts. The first one explains the basics. What kinds of partnerships are there? How you can use them to attract customers and prevent churn by building long-term connections. It also contains the Partnership Design Canvas, a great framework to design a partnership. Well, the second chapter reviews common types of partnerships, bloggers, influencers, and so on, and why referral partnerships work so good. The third chapter gives a recipe for building a successful partnership. The fourth contains the steps to take to unleash full partnership potential.
Do I understand correctly that when David talks about partnerships, he primarily focuses on the creator economy, where partners are creators, and the context in which we're talking about here are brands using them to reach their customers?
Well, as a matter of fact, there are different types of referral partnerships, and some of them are content creators, and some of them not really. By referral partnerships, the author means 6 groups. These groups can be divided into 2 huge groups, like content creators, like influencers, brand ambassadors, community groups, mass media publishers, and so on. And the second one is online marketplaces, cashback loyalty programs, which are not content creators. But anyway, the main idea of referral partnerships is that they refer, and that's how the client knows about you and your product.
Okay. And so you mentioned this to me before, that David sees partnerships as a game changer in the business world. I guess we agree, but what's his take? Why does he say that?
The answer to this question is that we all see the sustainable growth in today's fast-changing consumer-led market. And according to a study in 2020 by Forrester Consulting, companies with mature partnership programs generate an average of 28% of their company's total revenue through partnership efforts. That's why having a lot of partners is important for modern companies. They simply generate more money for them.
Okay, I guess that's the bottom line, isn't it? So I suppose when David talks about partnerships, I think it's important to know to frame it correctly for me and hopefully for our listeners. He talks about referral partnerships, right, that you've just described before, and the different types of referrals that can happen. Does the book exclusively focus on that?
Exactly. That's what we have in the book.
Our listeners, if you've been with us throughout the first season, you know about this already. If you just joined, hopefully you will learn something new, unless you know about this anyway. In any case, In any case, say something in the comments about your experience with different types of partnerships. Well, we have discussed plenty of times that there are more than just...
By the way, what other models of partnerships do you remember?
Off the top of my head, I would say, of course, there are the strategic partnerships that we discussed. Partnerships, I would say, for innovation, technology partnerships, market acquisition partnerships, right? When you can think both in terms of what we learned from the content in Partnernomics and in alliances by Art Peter Deman. There's plenty of reasons why companies would enter a partnership, such as joint innovation. So it's not always and definitely not only about generating revenue and attracting new clients. Right? In particular, because even within the referral partnerships model, and I'm very interested to see what David has to say about that, if anything, there are different modalities where your partners can be purely about increasing your reach, or they could actually engage with you in co-selling models or in providing value-added services to your joint customers and clients. Anyhow, I think we're getting a little bit into the weeds here.
I think it is a good idea to invite David to join the conversation.
Absolutely. It's a great idea to get David to join the conversation, and we'll hopefully be seeing him in one of the future episodes on the tap.
Yeah, I hope so.
But let's get back to the book. Thinking about the referral model. Why is the referral partnership model considered successful in David's opinion?
Well, for many reasons. The main one is that it reflects modern customer preferences and journeys. Customers tend not to trust ads anymore. They prefer to trust the third parties recommending the product. For instance, a customer sees an ad for a new model of, let's say, shoes. However, today it is usually not enough to drive sales, and if the customer sees an influencer's review or a recommendation of the same shoes on his trusted marketplace, he or she is more likely to buy the item. As you see, the keyword here is trust. So, the influencers, communities, marketplaces are able to foster authentic relations. They gather relevant audiences, keep them engaged, and listen to their interests. They capture demand and they create demand, and it results in high return. What do you think of it?
I must say that it almost feels like we either need a separate episode about this, and in fact, these are not mutually exclusive. We should talk to more of our guests about the way and what do they think about the use of the word partnerships to mean so many different things. It's fascinating. The more I'm listening to you talking about this specific area of partnerships and how deep we can get into that, the more it makes me realize that actually it's not a single field. It's almost like a collection of fields and areas that each deserves its own deep investigation. But coming back to what you said about trust, I'm glad that we're talking about that because, again, I think it resonates. It resonates with what a lot of our guests talked about, but it also resonates with what we've heard in quite a few books that you and I have reviewed so far. So that's good. I think that's probably a common thread among all of them. And in this particular case, sounds like quite the silver bullet.
Well, however easy it may sound, it's quite hard to succeed in partnerships. And the enterprise needs a clear growth strategy with a defined role of partnerships in it, right? Plus, a robust partnerships growth engine. And because today a company needs to form partnerships at scale, it's clear that the partnership strategy depends on the company's business strategy, right? And the first question is, what growth do you need? And then you have to identify your target audience segments and what are their trusted sources. And then you have to identify the customer behaviors you want to catalyze and what are the conversions which help bring these little changes to life. And the last step, to link customers' behaviors to customers' journeys. Well, in simple words, connect with customers on each step of their journey.
I'm fascinated by this customer-centric approach to thinking about partnerships. I think it's actually something that we haven't seen so much in many of the other analyses that you and I went through. Actually, it strikes me as very pertinent that sometimes maybe while thinking about the structures of partnerships and the different types, some of the authors do not stop considering customers, but maybe they sort of lose focus on that a little bit. And it's fascinating the way David actually brings it into the center. So I love that. And then you also said that in the third chapter, he gives a step-by-step guide for building a successful partnership. I mean, you and I, we've seen quite a few frameworks and suggestions for doing that. So what is the recipe here?
All steps are pretty logical. The first one, you have to find an opportunity. Then you have to sell the idea to the key stakeholders. and develop the vision and the strategy. Then find the right person in charge. And then you have to write the partnership charter. And don't forget to measure your success and identify the results. Nothing new. However, it's such a logical path that nothing can be added to it. Same with the last part about unleashing your partner in potential, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you made me think about something that I like less about business books. When I was younger, maybe earlier in my career, and came across easy recipes for success, and you know what? In fact, it applies across most self-help, and improvement books as well. I used to feel so inspired, like, hey, this is easy, we'll nail it. And when you face the task in real life, it appears to be very quickly overgrown by multiple complications.
It's so easy to say, develop your vision. And it's so hard to develop one. At least, the book gives nice advice for those who are new to partner management. But I wish the book was written in 2016 when I needed it so much.
All right, so bottom line, would you recommend the book?
Well, to you, I'm not sure you find any new ideas there because you're an experienced partner manager. However, the first chapter is about the economic situations were thought-provoking. On the other hand, I would certainly recommend the book to any colleague new to the concept of partner development. It's a good start, and the book is quite short, which is a big plus if you need to grasp the basics of partner management in a couple of days. So, yeah, why not?
So it's good thought-provoking start. Plus, even right now, I got a few interesting insights, bringing me back to when I started researching this space and realized exactly how much people actually talk about the referral economy when they talk about partnerships. So I think it's a useful insight for anybody, both new and experienced in this field, to understand all the different aspects of the field, what's common about them, and actually what might be different and therefore even more interesting. So in any case, I was pretty interested to hear this, so thank you for going over it for us all. I hope our listeners also found it interesting. Tell us in the comments what particularly did you like or not like about this and the insights that we brought to you. I mean, Marina, usually our listeners must be used to this as well by now. At the end of every episode, you have one more thing. So what's it going to be this time?
Sure. An Easter egg for those who have the patience to listen to the end. In the book, the author mentions the Edelman Trust Barometer. You see, Edelman is a global communication firm which studies trust. And each year, the firm makes a research on trust levels in the society and what it means for business. In 2022, when the partnership economy was written, the barometer described the situation as a failing trust ecosystem, characterized by mistrust institutions and leaders around the world. Unfortunately, the picture doesn't get better. The 2024 Edelman Trust Barometer reveals a new paradox at the heart of society. Rapid innovation offers the promise of a new era of prosperity, but instead risks exacerbating trust issues, leading to further instability and political polarization.
Amazing. That's not quite the inspiring and uplifting message that I was hoping to leave our listeners with. However, jokes aside, where would they be able to find the Trust Barometer? Or do we have links for that? How does one access that?
Of course, all links are below.
Very good. Don't forget, definitely check it out. Let us know what you think about this. And because we're not going to leave you with a minor note. Every challenge, like falling trust or even instability and polarization, is an opportunity. It's a challenge that you can find the opportunity in to create a new solution. So therefore, while these are definitely challenges that I would agree with, I think I would treat them as a positive for us, especially to see how we can apply the art of partnerships to tackle them.
Right. Actually, the report contains information on how the business can use the situation and how to behave. That's why it is important, and that's why I find it interesting.
I will certainly take a look. Well, many thanks to our listeners. We hope you enjoyed today's talk. Please subscribe, find us wherever you get your podcasts from. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and LinkedIn to stay tuned. Links are below.
Catch you next time on the tap.